Is the Toyota Tacoma's new 10-way power adjustable seat any good? Let's go for a ride. I'll let you know what I think. Morning, everybody. How are y'all today? Pretty good here. So is the new 10-way power adjustable super duper revolutionary Toyota Tacoma seat all that? Is it really worth it? You know, I remember back when I had my 2018 and then the 2019s came out, and then there was rumor of these changes for 2020. Right now I had decided somewhere in there that I was going to get a 2020, right? And part of the rumors were that there was going to be this new fancy 10-way power adjustable seat so that you could finally get comfortable in the Toyota Tacoma, right? I think it was probably the most anticipated improvement that the Tacoma has had in quite some time, right? Of what was really going to happen. I mean, we all anticipate more power, maybe better gas mileage, stuff like that. But this was something that was really going to happen, and it did. And I got to admit, I was kind of looking forward to that myself. You know, I had changed the seating angle of my seat in my 2018 because, frankly, it always felt like I was just kind of laying backwards. I didn't really dig that. But the 2020 came out, I got it, and I gotta say, it is a heck of a change, and you can get more comfortable in the truck as far as your seating angle goes. No longer do I feel like I'm sitting backwards, right? I can move the seat up so that it really feels like a truck. And that was one of the biggest things that I noticed in my 2018 when I put the spacers in the back, that it actually felt like a truck after I did that, right? It didn't feel like some kind of whacked out sports car or something that was sitting in some weird angle, like I was getting ready to blast off for the moon or something, you know? So it did make a huge difference there. But what about comfort? What about feel? Ride quality? Did it change any of that? Well, first of all, let me tell you, I do have the leather seats in here, right? So with Toyota's leather, at least in the Tacoma, and I gotta say, it was better in the Tundra, maybe because it was just a bigger seat area, I don't know. But in the Tacoma, it's really firm. I mean, I couldn't imagine getting in here, and I know people have done it, and I'm gonna get comments, people are gonna tell me they've done it, but I couldn't imagine getting in the Tacoma and heading off for a multi-hour trip, you know? Recently, and I talk about this a lot because it was our latest, longest trip, we took the Gladiator to Colorado. We spent a lot of time in that thing, and the seats were fantastic. You know, we got home and I get back in the Tacoma, and while I love the Tacoma, and I really do, I like the leather seats, but I gotta say, I almost think I would like it if it was cloth better, because the cloth seats I had in my 2018 were actually more squishy, more plush. Although, I don't know, I've lost some weight, so maybe I'm not as squishy and as plush as I was, who knows. But the 2018 cloth that I had, they did feel pretty good. And maybe the cloth ones that are out today are the same with the 10-way power adjustable seats. I'm not sure. I'd be curious to hear if you had a Tacoma in cloth before the adjustable seats and you have the adjustable seats now, the electric seats. Did you notice a difference? Are they firmer? I think I've had a few people tell me actually that they did notice a little less comfort with the power adjustable seat cloth version than what they had before. But yeah, I think they are definitely not as comfortable as what I had in the 2018. But again, it might not be a fair comparison because it's not apples to apples. This is leather, and leather tends to be generally, except in the Tundra, firmer anyway. So what about all these adjustments and everything? Was it worth the hype, you know? The extra money, I mean, the price went up, you know, and something caused that. It's certainly not because Toyota's giving us back any of the stuff they took out, right? It wasn't worth it. Depends on your perspective. You know, for me, because of that weird seating angle, which I fixed with the spacers, I could have done that in the 2020. Really wouldn't have been that big a deal. But just to be able to hit a button and not have to do that, especially if you're not handy or you're not into, you know, changing that angle yourself, or if you're one of the few folks out there who were concerned about it being a safety hazard for some reason. I still disagree with that, but as always, never do a mod that you're not comfortable with. But you wouldn't have had to do that. You could have just now get in it, push the button, and get it the way that you want so that it's nice and comfortable. But for the money, you know, I mean, if you're like me, I'm the only one that drives this truck. My wife doesn't know how to drive a stick, doesn't have any interest in driving a stick, right? So she doesn't get in this truck. She never drives it, which means that it's always at the same seating position that I've left it at, right? So unless I have a growth spurt, I don't know, maybe tomorrow morning I wake up and I'm 6'4", I don't know, which I wouldn't fit in here anyway, but let's say that for some reason I did, well, then I'd have to adjust the seat, but it would still be just once, right? I assume my height is not going to fluctuate. My legs aren't getting any longer sitting here, I don't think. So you do it just once and then you leave it. You know, it's probably the most expensive, or at least one of the most expensive options that you have in a vehicle that you never use, right? I mean, you set it once, you forget about it, you never touch it again. It's kind of the way it is with this truck and me. I don't ever use it other than to get it adjusted the first time. Now, there is the odd occasion where maybe you'll take it in to have it serviced, or maybe you're having something put in it, I don't know, and the tech is going to drive it, and for some reason they have to adjust your seat. And by the way, I can't stand that. You know, you take your truck somewhere and somebody gets in it to drive it from the parking place that you've left it sit at into their building, which is probably 100 feet away, maybe, I don't know, and they got to change your seat. Why? I mean, unless they're inside and they need to crawl around underneath the dash, or maybe at the center console area or something, maybe running wires, something like that, then I can understand it. But if they're doing an oil change, why do they need to change your seating position? I've had that happen. Drives me insane. Then I got to get back in and try to figure out where it was before so I can get nice and comfy all over again. I don't know. Kind of drives me nuts. The other thing is, you know, I mentioned this a little bit, sitting in it for long periods of time, you know, it's just too firm. It needs to be a little bit less firm. And I'm splitting hairs here, I know, right? I mean, it is a good seat. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm looking at these things with a magnifying glass, right? Because if I had to pay more money for it, which obviously we did, I want it to be better. I don't want it to be worse. So anyway, that's kind of what I think about it. It's nice to use the one time that you will. I think it could be more comfortable. It's still too firm, particularly with leather. If you've got it, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd be curious to know, was it worth an increase in the price of the truck for you to have a 10-way power adjustable seat? Do you find that you're constantly using it, or did you set it once like I did and now you just don't even know it's there? Leave a comment, let me know. Also, real quick, I have two other channels. One is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. The other is RobMotive Civic, all about my adventures with the Honda Civic Sport Hatch and the Honda Civic Type R. Check those out if you would. Subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Also, don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on your way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.